Hello, hello. Welcome to Stampin' Hands. My name is Jessica Tarrant. Let me get logged on really quick so I can see myself. How is everyone doing today? It's taking a minute. There we go. All right. Wonderful. Okay. So hopefully I didn't shake you too much sitting down. So today I am going to show you guys how to cut up one of your one-sheet wonders if you want to do it the way that I did. A lot of you were commenting the other day on the one that I had made for Ruth, this one here, and wondering how I was going to make cards out of it and stuff. So I wanted to cut that up today and show you guys how I'm going to do it. So I actually have another one here in front of me. I showed you this one that day also that I had made. And I already have this one cut up. So I'm showing you how it's still a whole piece. And the way I cut it up, we're going to be able to make 6 cards out of this. And we really only waste 2 tiny little pieces. These 2 little pieces here are going to be all that kind of goes to waste. And if they were, how would I say this? Like if they were more stamping in that area or something, if it looked more like something, you could use that piece as decoration on something else. But for me, it's too big of flowers and too spread out. This little piece just doesn't show. It has that one flower that you can kind of tell what it is. But otherwise, they don't really have enough detail to show what it is. So I just go ahead and throw these 2 pieces away. But I have the rest of these that I can use. And I already have a lot of the pieces cut out. I'm going to show you here how I went about doing this. So one of them is going to be a Slimline card. So this will go right on here, layered up. I don't have anything stuck down, and I'm not going to yet. I don't like to actually lay everything down permanently until I'm for sure what I want to do with it. But I'm thinking about, I just did a slim border of the soft succulent on here, which is the green that we used in there. And then the card base itself is rich razzleberry. And then I did the greeting here embossed in the gold, because I did the gold in the middle of the flowers. And then I did some rich razzleberry for the outside of that. So I'm going to put those 2 together and probably pop it up. And I think you have to kind of figure out which way you like it best. I think I had flipped this one actually upside down. And then I'm probably going to pop it up with some dimensionals, probably about right around in here somewhere. Maybe up higher. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. But I will take pictures at the end and show you guys how these turn out at the end. So then we have 2 pieces that are, I'll tell you the dimensions in the end, actually. These 2 pieces, everything kind of has a frame, so I'll tell you the dimensions at the end, though, as we go. So with this one, I cut 2 pieces the same that are 5 by 3 3/4. And so they would have a frame of 5 1/4 by 4, and this is in inches. And so both of these 2, and I did just opposite. Sorry, I have the stuff up here in front to keep it separated. I just did opposite with these 2. So I did one base in the soft succulent and one base in the rich razzleberry, and then the opposite in the matte layer behind. And then just whichever one looked better with it is the one that I set on there with that. And with these 2 cards, you can do them long ways this way, or you can do them vertical or horizontal, whichever way you like them to go. And you can add things such as, I have a lot of little scraps left over. So like this, these pieces you could put across and put something on there as a sentiment. Or you can do long ways, up and down, or turn it sideways like I said. However you want to do these layouts. Those are just kind of a plain background. And so for this one, I did a rich razzleberry base. Maybe I'll set this one, well, they're all kind of gosh, I can't remember the name of it. There's, oh, portrait. Portrait. I'm like landscape and portrait. So yeah, they're all, I kind of did them all portrait, but like I said, these two you could flip landscape if you wanted. And this one you could too if you had something sideways, but I like it portrait. So I did a background of just basic white, and then I cut out these two pieces here of soft succulent to kind of do two separate pieces on there. And there's like a little line in between. And so this piece here fits perfectly on the top up there. And then this bottom piece, I just wanted to pick out any kind of sentiment that would fit in this area. So you could do any sentiment that you want. This one I did happens to be, let me find, so it's in the Color and Contour stamp set, and it just says Here For You Now and In Better Days, and it's two different stamps, but I just lined them up to make a bigger space there so it filled it in. So that's what that one will look like. Excuse me. Had to get a drink there. My throat keeps choking up. Okay, so for this last one, I have two long pieces left that I cut in half. You can leave these together probably and make another card, but I wanted to cut it into two to make two more cards. Excuse me. So for one of them, I just did, I don't remember which one I did with which on these, but the base was the soft succulent. Then I just did a layer of the white. And then I did another piece of soft succulent, but I embossed it. I don't know if you can see that. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, so I embossed that, and that'll just go on there. And you can emboss it with anything. This is an older embossing folder. I think it's called Tasteful Textiles. I wanted something kind of subtle. I think I only have a couple of them that are in the catalog right now. One of them was like the bricks or something, and the other one was, I can't remember. Anyway, so I pulled out an old one. You can do any one that you want. I think I can't remember what the flowers, the one that I had with flowers would look pretty too. Anyway, any one that you want you could do for a background. And then I just put this pretty much anywhere you want it. You could do it off to this side and put a sentiment here, or you could do it off to this side, put a sentiment on this side. You could flip it, just flip it to whichever way you think looks the best. But that's a layout that you could do for that card. And then for the last one, I did a white base with a layer of the rich raspberry, and then another layer of the white. And then I did a piece, so for this last piece, I did something that was a 1/2 inch thicker, so it gave me a 1/4 inch on either side. And I centered that, and then on here you can put it on the card wherever you'd like. So I kind of like things, I just tend to like things kind of to the right, I guess. But like I said, you could put it in the middle, you could put it off to the other side, wherever you want on there, you can put that piece, and then add your sentiment as well. So for your sentiment on these, especially on the white one, you can stamp straight on the white. If you put this further over, you could stamp like a thank you right down there, and then do 3 dots for like a embellishment or something there. This one you can add a punch. Let's see, you could do like this punch. Whoops, that probably is not fun to look at. Okay, so this gosh, I can't remember what this is called. Tailored tag punch, I believe, is what it's called. But you could do this one, and just pop it up. I think what I'm going to do is a piece of, I hadn't decided actually. I don't know if I'm going to do a piece of rich raspberry with the white or a piece of the soft succulent with the white. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but I will show you guys pictures once I finish putting these together. I just wanted to show you kind of how I cut up the paper and do a layout with my cards. And this will make 6 different cards, as you can see. And you don't have to put these little strips and stuff in there. You can do just a sentiment on the card itself. So yeah, I'm going to show you really quick how to cut up the piece. I know it's like one of the hardest things to actually do, because you're like, I made this and I don't want to ruin it now. So one of the hardest parts is actually cutting it. But it's fun once you figure out what you want to do. And so, like I said, out of all of that, only 2 little pieces were left. So we're going to have like a little piece somewhere on one of the ends, one of these 2 ends, and then a little piece either here or here that will be missing. And the rest of it we'll be able to use. So the first thing I do when I look at it is I figure out for my long strip, which one do I want? Do I want it to be a piece like, I should just not mess with your eyes that way. Do a piece down here, so it'll be like this big. Or do I want to do a piece over here? So like pretty much which end would look better. And I'm thinking I like this one better just because it has more of the blue. And this one is going to get cut about right here. And you're really only going to see like these 2 of the Orchid Oasis. And you'll just have little peekaboos of this. And so I'm thinking this end is where I want to start. So that's the very first thing I do. And I cut this at, so for this one particularly, I wanted the really thin edging line. So I did it 1/8 of an inch bigger than I normally do. Normally I would do it to where it had 1/4 of an inch edge. So, not 1/4 of an inch edge. This would be 1/8 of an inch edge, but I add 1/4 of an inch to it. With this one, I did a 1/16 of an inch edge, and so it was only 1/8 of an inch over. So I'm going to do, I'll still do this actually. I'm still going to do the same size, and we can always take off that tiny little sliver if we want a bigger border around the edge. So, this one is 3 3 1/8. So grab my trimmer, and I know I use my trimmer upside down compared to everyone else, but that's the way I like it. I'm sorry. My numbers will be upside down. So this one here we're gonna do it 3 1/8. And then we just need to cut I believe it's 1/4 of an inch off the end. This piece here that we took off. Well, it's a little bit more actually. I think it's 3/8 of an inch. Let me double check. I should have written these numbers down. But the thing is, you can tailor it to what you want. I wonder if you guys can see this in the... So it's right at 8 1/8 by 3 1/8. So that's what it would be at. And I'm just being lazy because I don't want to pull out the arm on my on my trimmer. So I'm just figuring out how much to cut off the end here, which would be 3/8 of an inch. So which end do I want to take it off of? I think I'm going to take it off this end down here. And we're just going to go out 3/8 of an inch. Right there. Whoops. Okay. I think I should move some of my things I have up here so that way I can put my trimmer up further. I have all my blocks up here, but we're not going to be stamping right now. So I'm going to move those things. Alright, and then I can put my trimmer up further. Alright. So there we have those 2 long pieces. And this piece will go on, so let me just show you actually. So when I start, I pull out like the 3 colors that is in something. Like the 3 colors that I put in here are the Orchid Oasis, the Sweet Sorbet, and the Granny Apple Green. I did use Garden Green for the circles, but it doesn't stand out enough to me to want to pull that color in as one of the main colors in it. So I pulled out these 3 colors, and I kind of just play with them to see what I like. So what I do is, like, I think, okay, so if I do this as the card base, this will be the layer up here, and then I'll put this here to see how it would look. And I kind of just block off these edges just to see, like, here's what my card would look like, you know, something like that. And so I'll try it like that, or I'll swap them here and do it this way and see which color I like better with which. Kind of just layer them up and see, with me, that kind of drowns, I don't know, on this top part it drowns the red and you don't see it as much. On this side you can see it more, but I don't know. I don't think you can really go wrong with these. There's so many combinations you can do. We can do like the blue and the green with it and bring out more of the green that's in there. I keep calling it blue, but it's supposed to be like purple because it's, I think, I don't know, the Orchid Oasis. I guess orchids could be all kinds of different colors. So, as you can see, like I said, just pull out those colors, see what color you want, and then kind of just build your cards from there with the base colors. But as far as cutting it up, we want to do, like I said, that's the long piece that we did, and it looks like it went this way. So we ended up cutting this piece off down here. But we'll set that one aside. And then what we have left is obviously 8.5 still, but now it's by almost 8. It's an 1/8 of an inch shy of 8 inches. So, excuse me. So we're going to turn this, I'm trying to remember, long ways, and we're going to use the side over here. So on the side that is 8.5, sorry, I'm using my grid paper as my ruler. So yeah, on the side that's 8.5, we want to turn that down towards against the bottom of our trimmer. And we're going to put that right at 5 inches. Alright, and then we'll have that piece. I put the skinnier piece off to the side. Then we're going to take this piece and turn it long ways. And we're going to put this, we're going to cut this at 3 3/4. And then this other piece as well, 3 3/4. Alright, and then we have that little sliver that's left. But we have our 2 pieces here for another 2 cards. Alright, so we have our skinny piece left here. And then this is going to make our little square and the 2 long pieces. So what I did with this was, I know for my 2 long pieces I want them to be 5 inches long because that's how long my card is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it sideways. I think I'm actually going to use the other end. Do I like that? You kind of just, that's the thing when cutting it up, you can kind of turn it and see which way you like the best. I think I do like this other end. So I'm going to cut it at 5 inches. And so this little square here is the top of our 1 card. And then this one we're going to turn, and we are going to cut this at, I believe it's 2. Let me get it right. Before I go and tell you, I'm going to grab one of my other pieces just to measure. I think it was so close that I cut it, yeah, so pretty much 1 7/8. 1 7/8. And that was not right. I think it should have been, I should have written these down first, seriously. I just was like, okay, the baby's in bed, let's get started. But I should have written this down. Okay, so I cut it at 1 7/8, and I should have cut it at 1 3/4. That's what it is. Yeah, 1 3/4, actually. I shouldn't have done the 7/8. So that one, I'll just change my measurements when I make the cards themselves, but it won't be too far off. They're both still just a strip that goes on the card. And so one of them will just be a little bit skinnier, 1/8 of an inch. Anyways, so that's how I cut that up. I'll show you again. Let me get this trimmer out of the way. So we had the end piece, And then this piece was here. And then these two pieces were here. So that's all of our pieces to use for the card. And on this time, we cut off the end down here and this little piece here. But that is it. So I think what I will do now is I'll go ahead and cut all the pieces to get these cards ready. And then I'll either come back on and put them together on the video, or I'll just go ahead and put pictures on the end. Either way. But I hope this helps you guys figure out how to stamp up a piece of paper and then cut it up, and look how many different cards you can make. 6 different cards out of one piece of a one-sheet wonder. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get to work on making these cards, and like I said, I'll make pictures. I'll go ahead and cut out the pieces and stuff so it doesn't take up all your time, and then I'll probably link the 2 videos together to make one, and be back in a few minutes to show you guys the rest. So talk to you in a few. Okay, and just like that, with the magic of TV, I have all my pieces cut and I am back and ready to assemble them. So for each of them, I've got all the pieces cut. Everything is in the order that I want it to. I've got the sentiments already stamped, cut out. Everything's ready to just assemble. So I'm going to get started with that. I've done that with both of the stacks. I have this other one here it's all stacked up, but the other one that I showed you as well. And we're going to go ahead and put all of these cards together. And remember I said each one of your one-sheet wonders will make 6 cards with this cutout. So we're going to make 12 cards tonight, or today, whatever time of day it is, where you are. 12 cards all together right now. So it'll take me a few minutes to put them together. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this part of the video up, and then at the end we'll kind of look back through them all and I'll tell you what I've done with them. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, sorry about that. My phone died right there. But I got it plugged in and charging now. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking some of our Stampin' Blends, and I'm using the dark Calypso Coral, which is the other color that I used in here. So I have the Rich Razzleberry, the Soft Succulent, and the Calypso Coral. So I'm taking the blends of the Calypso Coral and just coloring on my rhinestones here and turning them to be Calypso Coral rhinestones. And it dries really fast, so you can pretty much pick them up right away and put them where you would like them. And see, even if you touch it, it doesn't come off. Whoops. Came off of the sticky part. Stay on there. So yeah, it doesn't wipe off or come off. It actually stays the color and just goes and stains it. Goes ahead and stains it, so it's pretty cool, I think, that you can kind of just make the rhinestones any color you want. I kind of want to change where I have those. Sorry. Change of mind. So, since my phone died, I'm kind of down to the last 2 cards, so I've made the 10 already, and I just have the last 2. I might move those around a little bit, that's kind of bugging me, so, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and speed up the camera again and finish the last 2, and then we'll kind of talk about what I did with all of them. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, now that we've got all of these made, I will go through and show you each of them a little bit closer. With this one, I showed you before how I made it and how I added the color to the rhinestones. The stamp, like I said earlier, was from the Color and Contour stamp set. And the one I did, well, yeah, I'll show you them side by side. Let's do that, because I think it'd be fun for you to see how you can switch things up a little bit. So these are both of the ones where I had this square piece of the One Sheet Wonder. So I had that piece left. I had the same piece at the bottom, the same size piece. I think I put a little bit bigger border on this, so it gave a tiny bit smaller piece down here, but for the most part, it's about the same size piece. So I just wanted a stamp that would fit in that area. With this one, I added the jewels. With this one, I did the same dots that I used in the One Sheet Wonder and just did the corners with that. So there's two different ways. You can see how different it changes that. Okay, and then so let's do all 4 of the ones that were a whole piece back behind. So there's all 4 of them. So I guess I turned 3 of them and kept one of them portrait. And that's what I did with those. So I used the stripe on both of these, but I put them different ways. And then I used a different piece to hold the sentiment. Sorry, that looks a little bit crooked. Kind of twist it and make it straight. There we go. Okay, so with this one, I was going to tell you I used the tailored tag punch. And the back piece, I think you saw on this one when I used it, I just cut the piece in half and glued it to the back of the sentiment to just give a little extra on both sides. But this one has extra on all of the sides, and the back side piece is the actual size that goes in here. The front one, I stamped my image, and then I put it to the top of the, mostly to the top, I can't talk straight, mostly to the top of the punch, to where it had a lot more white on the bottom. And I punched it out, and then I stuck a sticky note to the back of it and put it back in here and lowered it to where I could see a gap here that was exactly even, and then the sides still lined up. So I made that gap, and then I punched it again, so that cut off the bottom part to make it even, and that gave the top and the bottom. And then on the sides, I just cut it with scissors straight off on both the sides to kind of give it an even look. So I kind of just, I don't know, customized that, I guess. I don't know how you'd say, but so there's a couple different ways that you can use it to make a border as well, to where you don't just have to use it just as the one size piece. You can make different sized pieces with it. Okay, so yeah, these are all 4 of the 5 by 3 3/4 pieces. Alright. And then next we'll do the ones where we had the strip. And this one, if you remember right, I cut it a little bit lopsided, or not lopsided, but offset, excuse me. Instead of them being even, one was skinnier than the other. And this is how that turned out, and it doesn't really make much of a difference, like I said. So that's okay that happened. And I made 3 of them Valentine's Day cards because I just thought that worked perfect as something as a pop statement that worked on there, because they're kind of plain. They just have a little strip, and I didn't want such a big piece of plain paper in the background. So 2 of them I embossed. This one is the one, I think it's Oriental Style, I can't remember, Ornate Style, that's what it's called, Ornate Style embossing folder. And this one was the Tasteful Textiles, I believe. I don't use them enough to remember their names completely, and so I'm terrible with the names. The stamp sets, I'm better with their names. But anyway, so these 2 that had the colored ones, I went ahead and embossed them, and then just put a sentiment. And then with these 2, this one I did put the layer behind it of color, but this one I did just straight. So 3 of them I did just the piece on there, and one of them I actually layered some color behind. But they're just opposite of each other. The heart is on the top here. I mainly just figured out where, I didn't want to cover up my flowers, so that's how I kind of decided where I wanted to put the hearts. So this one wanted to leave those flowers open. This one I wanted to leave the blue or the orchid flowers open. So that's just how I kind of decided where those went, and it just worked out that way. So yeah, those are the strips. And then lastly, we have our Slimline cards that we made. And let me go ahead and put that punch away. Okay, and they came out a little bit different too. They're both just, like I said, a big piece of the strip. With this one, I just did the embossing in gold and added some little gold accents there. And then this one, I took a bunch of tiny strips. They're all 1/8 of an inch piece strips. And I just took the 3 colors that are in, the main 3 colors that are in there, and just layered up in the same order. So I just did green, red, blue, green, red, blue. And just glued those down. And then this came from the Framed Occasions stamp set. So I used this background piece, which is the same one we used in the background to make those circles. And I did it in the garden green, which is the same one we did. And then I cut it out using the layered circle dies. And it is so, so close. But I can tell it's slightly off, but I don't think it's bad enough. So I went ahead and used it. But it kind of looks like lace, and I really like that look. Anyways, so you don't have to stamp the outside part, but I just did the Thankful We're Friends. I thought it fit well inside the circle on this one, so I kind of just took it onto there. And then, of course, I think I popped up every single one of my sentiments with dimensionals. Nope, not all of them. These two are laid down flat, but the rest of them I popped up with dimensionals, so there was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I hope that it gave you some ideas of things you can do with your one-sheet wonders when you make them. I have a hard time just setting them to the side. I like going ahead and making them while I'm inspired and have the ideas in my mind. So I encourage you to go ahead and make a one-sheet wonder and make these cards. I'd love to see them, so you can definitely upload them to, if you've joined my Facebook group, the VIP group, you can upload them on there so we can all see your pictures. I would love to see that, and I'm not sure if you can add them in a comment on YouTube or not, but if you can, go ahead and add them there so I can see them as well. I would love to see what you've made. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the evening, and I hope, like I said, that these have inspired you to go make lots and lots of cards. Have a great rest of your day, and happy stamping!